Hello friends, welcome to Learn with Dheeraj, and today we will learn something very important in grammar. These are basically your integrated exercises based on editing, and today we will learn how to accurately correct the passages using the tips and tricks that I'm going to share with you. So students, let's start with knowing what are editing exercises. Editing exercises are your integral part of modern English, and it checks overall grammar skills of every individual. Editing exercises are basically application based as it tests individual grammar and focuses more on practical learning of an individual. We must practice such exercises to improve and enhance our English. So basically what we do in editing exercises is there is an error in every sentence that is given to us in the form of a passage. We need to find the error and replace that word with the correct word. There are a lot of challenges that are faced by the students. Like they are unable to identify the errors at times, or sometimes they are not sure about the answers. Okay, some students don't know how to attempt such exercises, and some lack practice. Some don't know any tips or techniques, or some have very poor grammar skills. Some are even unable to interpret the passage or the sentence. Okay, or some don't know anything about these exercises as they are never explained to them. And most of the students, they are actually scared of English, so they just run away from attempting such exercises. But believe me students, they are very scoring and very easy. Now let's see what are the commonly done mistakes by the students, and so let's go through them one by one. This will actually help you in identifying and ensuring that you don't repeat them anymore. So the first mistake which is done by the students is they apply techniques of both editing and omission. So students, as you know, there are two kind of integrated exercises. One is based on editing, in which a word is wrong in a sentence and you need to change that word to a correct one. However, omission is totally different than editing. Omission focuses on finding the missing word and adding it up in the sentence. So in omission exercises, all the given words are 100% correct in grammar as well as in terms of spellings. But however, the meaning is unclear because one word in every sentence is missing. But when we compare editing, the sentence is not 100% correct. One word in the sentence is wrong. Nothing has to be added up in the sentence. We need to only find the incorrect word and we need to correct it. So while doing this, we apply various rules of grammar and various techniques which I'm going to discuss with you all in this video. So keep watching. So let me explain you editing exercises with the help of an passage which I have here for you on the screen. So let's go through. So there are 6 sentences here and every sentence has an error. So basically when we are doing editing, along with the incorrect sentences, we will be given 2 more columns. One column will say error and the second column says correction. That means we need to find the incorrect word in every sentence and we need to write that up in the error column, and then we have to write the correct word as a correction in the second column. So let's go through the sentences. A rich variety of reading material have been provide to include the literary. Now when I read the complete sentence, I find that it should have been has been instead of have been. A rich variety of reading material has been. Has is correct word instead of have here, because here when we apply rules of subject verb agreement, material is singular but have is plural. So since material is a singular in nature, so I have to use a singular verb here. So instead of have, I have replaced with has. So the error type in sentence number 1 is based on subject verb agreement. Now let's see sentence number 2. A rich variety of reading material has been provided to include the literary, cultural and socio-logical dimension of text. Now when I read this sentence, I realize that has been provided to sounds very incorrect and I have to change it to provided. So if I change this to provided, so it makes perfect sense. A rich variety of reading material has been provided to include the literary, cultural, and sociological dimension of text. Okay, the theme range to childhood and adolescence, to disability, talent, but achievement to music, science, and contemporary social and environmental concerns. There are a lot of themes talked about here. So, using the word theme is incorrect because theme is singular, but the sentences further talks about lot of themes. So, the incorrect word theme will change into themes. So, it becomes the themes range to childhood and education. Now, to also sounds wrong here. The theme ranges from childhood and education to disability, talent. Okay, it makes more sense. So, you can see that the prepositions have been written wrong here. So, that's another kind of error. Do not worry, I will be talking about different kind of errors in coming slides, but this example is here to at least to tell you what editing is all about. All right, so the error in line number 4 is based on preposition, but then in the line number 5 the incorrect word was but. Talent but achievement to music is wrong. It should be talent and achievement to music. So what they have done is conjunctions have been written wrong in this sentence number 5. And in the last sentence, instead of environment, it should be environmental. So in this sentence, environment is an error. It should be environmental. So this is how we identify errors. Now let's go through various tips and techniques which are very important for solving integrated exercises. So tip number 1, read the full passage at least 2 to 3 times to find the correct tense used in the passage. This is very important as errors based on tenses are the most commonly found errors in these kind of exercises. So if you read the full passage 2 to 3 times, you will be accurately and 100% confident about the tense used in the sentence. So please read the passage many times, and once you're sure, then start solving it further. Now tip number 2 is read the sentences carefully in a flow and try to find incorrect words if any. Now this trick is very helpful, and many times when you read the complete passage unknowingly you will speak out the correct word. So while reading these sentences, be careful and keep an eye that what you're speaking and what is written in the sentence. Many times our brain speaks out the correct words, and it will be very easy for you to find it right away while rechecking that what is written in the passage. So read sentences carefully in a flow. Now, tip number 3 says that many errors are based on subject-verb agreement. Now, student, this is a very important topic and you must revise subject-verb agreement because there are a lot of tricks that are used when we say subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement basically says that the verb used in the sentence should always agree with the subject, which means if the subject is singular, then the verb used in the sentence should also be singular. And if the subject is plural, the verb used in the sentence should also be plural. For example, with I will always use have but not has because I is considered as plural. Similarly, with he, which is singular, I will use the word does, not do, because does is singular and do is plural. Alright? Now let me discuss tip number 4 with you. Now tip number 4 is that there are many more types of errors which are based on articles, which means a, an, and the, or they are sometimes based on pronouns like he, she, they, them. Okay, we also have errors based on prepositions like confusion of OF and OFF, beside and besides, or maybe conjunctions wherein instead of or and is used or but is used. Alright, so we need to know very thoroughly what articles are, how they are used, what are pronouns, and as well as what are prepositions. Prepositions are little tricky because there are lot of prepositions. There are more than 100 in numbers. So please go through these topics as well. Okay, reading them once will be more than sufficient for you guys. So this is tip number 4. Now tip number 5. We should know and learn homonyms because they are very confusing. Many students they easily get confused with the use of there, which is there, and the other there, which is their. Okay, some more examples of such confusing words are two with the single O and TOO with double O's, or except, which is ACCEPT and EXCEPT. So please clarify your confusion because these kind of tricky words are also very commonly used in editing exercises, and they are deliberately added into the sentences so that the students get confused, and this is how they check whether whose basics are clear or not. So learn homonyms or the confusing words. So tip number 6 is you should also focus on spellings and misspelled words. Some tricky words like environment are totally different the way we pronounce them. For example, environment correct spelling is ENVIRONMENT, but some children they write wrong spellings. So similarly, there is one more word like interest. Okay, it's written, some children write it as INTREST, which is wrong, but the pronunciation is exactly like the word written in bracket, but the correct spelling is the one which is outside the bracket, like INTEREST. So if you are confused with some words like these, okay, so focus on your spellings, and when you read the sentences double check the spellings, because an examiner can anytime check your spellings as well and write an incorrect word over there. So focus on spellings and misspelled words. Now one more category of errors is use of gerunds and infinitives. As you know, when we add ing to certain verbs, it becomes gerunds, and when you add to before a verb, it becomes infinitive. So I have an example for you on the screen. The error or the wrong sentence is, I called my mother to helping me. Now as you can see, an infinitive has been used here too. So to is always formed or followed by the first form of verb. So instead of to helping, it should be to help. It can be vice versa as well. Alright, so be careful while reading the sentences. These kind of errors are also very common. So this was my tip number 7. Now let me talk about tip number 8. Tip number 8 is very simple and it focuses on errors in adjectives and adverbs. As you all know that adverbs can be easily formed by adding ly. So let's see an example. We must exercise regular. Now this is an incorrect sentence because it should have been we must exercise regularly. So you can see instead of using an adverb, somebody has used a regular adjective. So when you read the sentences, you can also look for adjectives and try to see whether they are used in the wrong or correct way, or instead of adjective an adverb is required. Alright. Tip number 9. Now sometimes students don't focus on the spellings or get confused with the plural forms of certain words. For example, certain words like leaf, leaves has a different plural. It is not like adding an regular s. So leaf plural is leaves and not leaves. Okay, similarly, themselves is wrong because the correct plural of themselves is themselves as mentioned on the screen, not the one in bracket. Similarly, thief, thieves is the plural and not thieves. So focus on such simple words as well, which can be there as an error in the sentences. Now, tip number 10 focuses on errors based on punctuation marks. Now, punctuation marks are also very important and integral part of English, and we should be careful how and where they are used. Now, see the wrong sentence. The teacher's book was left on the table. In the first sentence, the teacher's looks like it's a plural word, but the correct word or sentence was supposed to be the teacher's book with an apostrophe was left on the table. So you can see how a simple apostrophe has totally changed the way teachers was supposed to be used in the sentence. So keep an eye on basic punctuation marks as well. So students, don't forget to practice more and more so that all these points are retained in your memory. Remember, practice always makes a man perfect. So thank you for watching this video. Take care, stay safe, and please subscribe to our channel for more education videos like this. Take care. Bye-bye.